Hello everyone, and thank you for joining us for family cooking and story time. Before we get started, I would just like to take a moment to introduce myself. My name is Katie Torres, and I am with the Parents as Teachers program, which is one of the amazing programs under the umbrella of the Community Action Partnership. Parents as Teachers is a free, evidence-based home visiting program that partners with families of young children to offer support and resources on their parenting journey. We value parents as their child's first and most influential teacher, but we also know, as the saying goes, it takes a village. Today's event is brought to you in collaboration with the Nutrition Education Program, which is also a part of CAP. Cassidy and Jen are going to demonstrate how to make delicious turkey pinwheels. If you already have the ingredients and supplies, feel free to make them along with NEP. If not, that's okay. Take this time to observe and take notes from making this in the future. Cooking together as a family is an easy way to spend quality time while also supporting all areas of your child's development. When you plan, prep, and make meals together as a family, you are supporting your child's cognitive, motor, language, literacy, social, and emotional development. Once you are done watching the cooking demonstration, Nikki Robinson, a family development specialist with Parents as Teachers, will read you all a fun Splat the Cat story. Reading together with your child is yet another important way to spend quality time while also benefiting their overall development, as you can see by the list on the screen here. Throughout this event, myself and other CAP staff will be available to chat and answer questions. So whether you are watching live or watching this as a recording, we invite you to take a moment to say hi, maybe introduce yourself, or just comment and ask questions. We thank you again for joining us, and without further ado, here's Cassidy and Jen with the Nutrition Education Program, who will teach you how to make turkey pinwheels.
Hi, my name is Jen.
Hi, I'm Cassidy.
And we're with the Nutrition Education Program through the Community Action Partnership of Lancaster. We're funded by SNAP Ed of Pennsylvania. And our program does a lot of nutrition education for students who are in the school district of Lancaster. We also partner with food pantries and senior centers, so we do nutrition education with adults as well. We're really excited to be with you today, and we're going to be making a recipe with you and your child.
So today we're going to be teaching you a really fun recipe. You should have gotten this paper when your ingredients were delivered to your homes. We are going to be making turkey pinwheel appetizers. So real quick, we're going to go over all the ingredients and tools that you are going to need for this recipe.
Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is gather the supplies we'll need to make the recipe. So you can find a nice working space, a table or a countertop. If you need a stool or a chair for your child to sit or to stand on so they can reach the counter, kind of find a nice working area where you can assemble food. You're going to need your recipe. You'll need the ingredients, which is cream cheese. I actually purchased Neuchâtel cheese, which is a reduced fat cream cheese. It has 1/3 less fat than regular cream cheese. You can find this at the grocery store just right next to the regular cream cheese, and it's just a healthier option. You're also going to need tortillas. You'll need your turkey breast, lunch meat. You'll need your tomato and your spinach. That's all your ingredients. You'll also need some other supplies like a cutting board, a sharp knife for the adult, and a child-safe plastic knife for your child if they're going to be helping you out. You'll need a tablespoon for measuring, and a plate to serve when you are finished.
Okay, so before we start actually preparing the recipe, you're going to want to wash your hands. If you want to go over to the nearest sink, you can do so. If you don't have a sink available, you can use some hand sanitizer as well. So when you're washing your hands, you want to use warm water. So I'm turning on both the hot and the cold water. You're going to want to wet your hands. And of course, you're going to want to grab some soap. And you're going to want to lather the soap up really good. You're going to want to do this for 20 seconds Washing your hands with the soap for 20 seconds ensures that all of the germs are being killed. Another fun way that you can remember to wash your hands for 20 seconds is by singing your ABCs. So we will sing that now. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Now I know my ABCs. Next time, won't you sing with me? And that was about 20 seconds. So I'm just rinsing all the soap off. If you have long nails like I do, you want to make sure you scrub and clean under your nails as well. All right, so you're going to want to turn the water off, and you always want to dry your hands completely just to get all the excess water off.
Now that our hands are nice and clean, we are ready to start preparing the food. So this is something that if your child is 2 or 3 or older, your child would probably do a good job at helping assemble this. So you want to get a tortilla out of the bag and lay it on a cutting board or a plate or even a paper towel. Now the recipe says you can warm that up in the microwave for about 15 seconds, and you are welcome to do that right now if you'd like. Ours are at room temperature and they're pretty nice and soft, so I think we're going to skip that step. So these are whole wheat tortillas. Whole wheat is a healthier choice than a white tortilla because it has more fiber and more vitamins. Fiber keeps your digestive system nice and clean, and then the vitamins help your body in many ways for your skin, your eyes, keeps you nice and healthy. So we are going to lay down our whole wheat tortilla. We're going to get out our Neuchâtel cheese or our cream cheese, and we're going to measure 2 tablespoons of cream cheese to spread on our tortilla. Again, this is something that your child might be able to help with your assistance depending on their age. If it's really cold, it's going to be a little bit more difficult to spread. If it's room temperature, it's going to be a little easier. So you or your child can take a plastic knife and your tablespoon and just scoop some of the cream cheese into the tablespoon. So we can measure 1 tablespoon and scoop it onto the tortilla. We'll get our 2nd tablespoon. Good fine motor skills for your toddler or preschooler. And we will scoop that onto the tortilla. Now, as I mentioned, this is a lower fat cream cheese. It's a good idea to have dairy foods or drinks 3 times a day. And when you're choosing dairy, it's a good idea to choose low fat dairy, whether it's the lower fat cream cheese, reduced fat or low fat milk, which would be the 1% or 2% milk. You can get low fat yogurt. You can even buy low fat cheese. Sometimes that's a little bit more expensive, so you just might want to cut back on the amount of cheese that you use as well. So dairy is a really important food group because foods in the dairy group have calcium, which helps your bones and teeth stay strong. So just you and your child continue to spread the cream cheese all over the tortilla. Doesn't have to be perfect, it's all gonna get rolled up anyway. But again, it's a nice tactile activity for your child.
All right, so now that we have our cream cheese on our whole wheat tortilla, you're gonna take your turkey breast and you're gonna put on 1 to 2 slices of turkey. And this is honey smoked turkey breast. There's all different kinds. Sometimes you'll see oven roasted turkey breast. You can really put as much as you want on. Turkey is a really good protein food, and protein foods are the ones that make our muscles nice and strong. So I have 2 pieces of turkey right on here. And if you want to look at this, we actually bought Giant brand turkey. So a tip for the parents, when you're at the store, you can always buy the store brand or the generic brand products. It's a little bit cheaper than buying name brand products, say Hormel turkey or going to the deli and getting fresh sliced turkey. All right, now that we have our turkey on, I moved it to the side and we're gonna cut our tomato. So this is a Roma tomato. There's all different types at the store. Roma tomatoes are actually a pretty cheap kind of tomato. So you're gonna take your knife. This is a paring knife. It's a smaller knife that is really good to cut small fruits and vegetables. And I just wanna mention we did wash this tomato before the demonstration. So you always wanna wash your fresh produce, your fresh fruits, and your fresh vegetables. So I'm gonna take this. If you want your little ones to help you, you can actually have them use a plastic knife. A plastic knife will cut through the tomato. The skin is soft enough to do that. But I'm gonna grab my paring knife. You always wanna bend your fingers if possible. That way when the knife comes closer, you're not risking cutting your fingers or the tips of your fingers. So I'm gonna bend my fingers like this. You always wanna cut away from you, never towards you. So I'm just gonna cut off this little end piece that has the little stem. And I'm just gonna actually slice nice and gently and nice and carefully little slices of tomato, doing them pretty thin. You always wanna go slow when you're cutting just to prevent any injuries from happening. And you can see I'm keeping my fingers bent, knuckles out, to prevent cutting my fingertips. All right, so I have 4 slices. If you like bigger chunks of tomato, you can keep them sliced, but the recipe actually calls for chopped. So chopped just means that it's cut into smaller square pieces. So I'm just gonna take each slice and chop it into little smaller pieces. Even while I'm doing this, keeping my fingers and my nails bent, knuckles out. And just take your time with this. Cut them as small as you like. And like I said, this should be soft enough just to demonstrate with the plastic knife. If your child is helping you, it easily cuts through the tomato because it has some edges and some ridges. Oops. All right, so the tomato is chopped. Tomatoes are actually a fruit, which is a little fun fact. Most people think tomatoes are a vegetable. Tomatoes are a fruit because they actually have these tiny little seeds in them. And tomatoes are actually a really great source of vitamin C. And as you may know, vitamin C is a really good vitamin. It helps with our immune system. It prevents us from getting sick, and it keeps us nice and healthy. Okay, so now you're just gonna take your chopped tomato and you're gonna place it onto your tortilla on top of the turkey. If you don't wanna use all of the tomato, feel free not to. If you don't like tomato, you don't have to use it. Of course, we wanna give foods a try because our taste buds can always change. The tomato on there. After you touch the tomato, you're gonna wanna wash your hands or just rinse them off real quick because it might get a little bit sticky from the inside.
Okay, now that we have our turkey and our tomatoes ready on our wrap, we're gonna move on to the spinach, which is a wonderfully healthy green leafy vegetable. The baby spinach is actually has a nicer texture than the bigger mature spinach leaves, so I always prefer getting the baby spinach leaves. They're easier to chew and kind of work with. And spinach is full of calcium and potassium, which helps your bones, and spinach also has iron, which is great for your blood. So you can go ahead and open up the spinach, and if you have a young child helping you out today, we're going to do a little counting lesson. We're going to count out 10 baby spinach leaves to put on our wrap. So, okay kids, are you ready to count with me? We're gonna put 10 spinach leaves on our wrap today. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, really love spinach, feel free to throw a few more spinach leaves on.
So now that we have all of our ingredients in our wrap, we have the tortilla, the cream cheese, the turkey, the tomatoes, and the spinach. You're gonna roll the wrap up. And parents, you might wanna help your child if you're doing this together. It might be a little bit tricky to roll it up. You're just gonna grab one end and tuck it in. And you're gonna wanna pull so the vegetables don't fall out. And as you roll, you're gonna just wanna tuck it in, nice and gentle. And you might notice on the recipe, it says to wrap it in plastic wrap and refrigerate for 2 to 3 hours. You can totally do that, but if you wanna taste it right now, it's completely fine to just roll it up and cut it. So again, we're gonna need a little paring knife. You probably will be able to use the plastic knife, so I would recommend a paring knife or a little bit of a sharper knife. Now that it's together, we're just gonna press it, make sure it's nice and compact. You're gonna just gently cut through the tortilla. And since the recipe calls for pinwheels, I'm just doing about 1 inch thick slices. Remember, keep your knuckles pointing out, your fingertips in. And just do this nice and slow. Taking our time. And we'll do one more right at the end. The ends might look a little bit funky, but that's okay. And you're gonna grab your plate. And you're gonna place the pinwheels. How good does that look? Whoops. Like I said, the ends might be a little bit tricky, so you can just kind of fold them. The middle part is the prettiest. All right. And there you have it. Those are our turkey pinwheel appetizers. You can eat this as a whole meal for lunch or dinner. It's a great snack to bring to school or to work, or you could serve it as an appetizer at any family gathering. And of course, feel free to put in any fruits or vegetables that you like into the wrap. Peppers are another fruit, since they have seeds, that you could add to this. You could also add maybe broccoli or carrots to the wrap as well. So we are all done making the recipe. It was a nice, quick, and easy recipe. I hope you all enjoyed it. Go ahead and taste it if you haven't tried it already. Let us know if you like it or not. You can be honest. But real quick, we are just gonna talk about this little picture that I have on this plate. So I want you to think back if you've ever seen this plate, maybe at the supermarket or maybe online. This picture is called My Plate. And My Plate is an awesome tool to use because it shows us how we should be eating at every meal. So basically, you want your plate at home to look like this plate right here. You want to have a quarter filled with grains. That's whole wheat tortillas like we have here. That could be rice or pasta or bread. You want to have another quarter with your protein foods. Proteins are foods such as our turkey breast, other meats such as chicken, fish, shrimp, beans, nuts, or seeds. You always want to have half of your plate filled with fruits and vegetables, and we actually had both in this recipe. We had tomatoes, which are actually a fruit because they have those seeds. We had spinach, baby spinach, which is a vegetable. And then you want to have dairy foods as well. Jen before mentioned you want to have dairy foods or drinks such as milk at least 3 times a day. And our cream cheese was our dairy food. So you always want your plate to look like this plate, and this meal is a perfect one because it has all 5 food groups in this one meal. So wraps, salads, and sandwiches are really good ways to include all food groups into one meal. Thank you so much for watching our recipe video today. We hope you really enjoyed the recipe and you thought it was delicious.
We'd like to extend a thank you to the Parents as Teachers program for partnering with us today. And parents and children, don't go anywhere. Stay tuned for a story time by Parents as Teachers educator.
Thank you.
Bye.
Good morning, Facebook friends. I am Nikki Robinson. I am with Parents as Teachers in the Elizabethtown area. I hope you have enjoyed spending some time making a healthy meal together, packed with protein and good nutrients. I'm going to read a book to you now called Splat the Cat, Ice Cream for Ice Cream. It's written by Rob Sutton, and ice cream is a sometimes food. It's not an everyday food. It is made with dairy. It is a dairy product. So there are some healthy things in there, but it's also packed with a lot of extra sugar and things, which makes it just a sometimes food. But this is called Splat the Cat, Ice Cream for Ice Cream. Splat the Cat beamed in the back of the bus. His class was going on a field trip to the ice cream factory. I could eat 4 ice cream cones a day, said Splat. I could eat 15, said Plank. And I could eat all of yours and a million more, said Spike. Kitten licked her lips. I scream, you scream, we all scream for ice cream. At the ice cream factory, ice cream swirled in big vats. Pipes steamed, nozzles gleamed. Wow, said Splat, what a dream. The factory manager greeted them. Hello, I'm Mr. Jellybean, he said. Who wants a tour? Hooray, said the cats. I scream, you scream, we all scream for ice cream. Mr. Jellybean led the class to a back room. The cats' faces fell. There was a chalkboard right there. There were chairs. There were desks, but no ice cream to be seen. Mr. Jellybean cleared his throat. First, let's talk freezers, he said. Some are big, some are small. All are extremely cold. Mr. Jellybean talked on and on. He seemed to love his freezer theme, but the cats did not. Their eyes glazed over and their heads drooped. Oh, look at their faces. They look very bored. Splat began to daydream that he was making ice cream. He closed his eyes and leaned against a big red button. See that big red button right there? It says emergency ice cream release. Beep! Alarm sounded. Lights beamed. Splat jumped. Scared. Steam puffed out of a big pipe. Then splat! Ice cream streamed out. It became a huge ice cream wave. Would you love to be in a wave of ice cream? I would if it was mint chocolate chip. And it grew and grew and it flooded the factory. Look at the little mouse. He's in a cup of ice cream. Now that's a lot of ice cream, said Plank, taking a taste. Yum. What happened? Mrs. Wimpy Dimple asked. I don't know, said Splat, from under the chocolate chips. See him in that big pile of chocolate chips? The class cleaned themselves up. Mrs. Wimpy Dimple counted heads, and everyone was there except Seymour! Splat screamed. I have to find Seymour, he said. He ran back toward the bus. He ran back toward the door. Wait, Kitten cried. We'll come with you. We're a team after all. Can't find Seymour the little mouse. Inside, the team checked out the ice creamy mess. Let's look, they said. Oh, be careful, Splat said. Seymour is so small. We may not see him under all this ice cream. With brushes and buckets, the cats cleaned and ate their way into the factory. Seymour! Splat called, but Seymour was nowhere to be seen. Then the team cleaned and ate their way through the next room. Seymour! Splat called again. The team continued until the factory gleamed, but Seymour wasn't anywhere. He wasn't under any of the ice cream. And just then, a blob of whipped cream fell onto Splat's head. Splat looked up. Splat! And there was Seymour. You see him in there? He was way up on a beam. He couldn't call out. His mouth was full of ice cream. Seymour leaped into Splat's paws. Then Mr. Jellybean thanked the team. The factory is so clean. How can I repay you? Would you like some ice cream? The cats all groaned. Oh, no more ice cream, they said. For now, Seymour whispered. I hope you enjoyed that book called Splat the Cat, Ice Cream for Ice Cream. Have a great day, everyone.